The Way to a Great Marriage Cast. I'm Tony. This is LaRonda.
Hello.
And she has a song that Miss Omi, her mother, wrote many years ago.
Many.
And so she's going to read or sing that song, and this is dedicated to her mother, Omi.
And I'm actually going to read it. His power. Early one morning I was praying. I was talking to God and I said, Lord, I do love and I want to serve you while on this earth I trod. I must feel your power every hour. Without you, I'm nothing at all. He gave me direction. He told me to listen when the thunder began to sound. The lightning was flashing. I kept on asking, oh Lord, is that you I hear now? Oh, what power God showed me that hour. God showed me that hour. I asked him in Jesus' name. He said, my child, you must serve me. I'll always be with thee from morning till the sun goeth down. I'll never leave you. I'll never forsake you. Go bring the lost ones in. My blessings I'll give you. My promises are true. I'll always be your best friend. Inspired by the Holy Spirit, written by Alma Shepherd, 9/20, 1997. That one was written.
You didn't read that last night?
No.
No,
I sang last night.
Oh, I thought it had.
That's
something.
number 113.
I thought it had. Yeah, it was like 290 something, wasn't it?
No, it was 109 last night.
Because I remember it having something to do with when the thunder rolls.
And the thunder rolls and the lightning strikes.
Well, that was in this one, wasn't it?
Yeah, but she used that a whole lot.
Oh, she liked it.
Yeah, she liked it.
Okay.
We love you, Mom, and all of your wonderful songs. Sometimes I read them as poems because I don't know the tune. So that's okay. It's in honor of her and thankful to God.
Okay, so tonight the title is, let's see, Navigating Relationships with Narcissistic Individuals in Your Blended Family.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, that's a doozy.
Well, I thought I had one. The counselor said that she could, because she was 12, she couldn't diagnose her as narcissistic.
Oh.
As a narcissist.
Wait till she's 16.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
she's now an adult. But
Yeah, she is.
I wonder, I hate to see how she is now, but
Yeah,
anyway.
bless her heart. I hope she turned to Jesus.
Anyway. I don't know if there's any hope for narcissists.
I know. Not unless they turn it all over.
I would say so. Okay.
All right.
Dealing with narcissistic individuals, whether in a marriage, blended family, co-parenting, or parenting, can be mentally, spiritually, and emotionally draining.
Mm-hmm.
You can often feel alone and rejected in narcissistic relationships, and you may wonder whose perspective of reality is the correct one. Gaslighting. Can you say gaslighting?
Yes.
However, with valuable education and strategies to help navigate these complex relationships, you can set boundaries, overcome communication challenges, and protect your spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical health. That's where I send everybody Stop Walking on Eggshells, the book. It's actually a PDF book that you can download called Stop Walking on Eggshells.
Yeah.
One of my counselors recommended it.
One of your many.
To deal with another narcissist.
Gee.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Well, it's actually high conflict personality disorders. I was thinking about that tonight.
Yeah.
Symptoms of narcissism. As human beings, we all have a sin nature and can display selfish behavior at times. So we can all have narcissistic tendencies.
Yes.
I've
Yeah.
been accused of having narcissistic
Yeah.
tendencies. And some people have kind of a right to have a narcissistic tendency.
Well,
if doctors can have a tendency to have narcissistic tendencies
yeah.
because they've went through 4 years of college, 8 years of medical school and residency, and now they see themselves as saving lives.
Yeah.
I remember the counselor who kind of talked to me about it. She was talking. She told me about the guy who went to our church. He used to be school board superintendent. So they could have a kind of pride about which they shouldn't have
No.
about what they have done and the
Yeah.
things they've accomplished and that sort of thing.
But we can all do that, Tony.
Right?
Every one of us.
And so famous people, billionaires.
Oh yeah.
They could have or presidents. Could have narcissistic tendencies where that they are kind of proud of what they've accomplished and things that they've done. But we shouldn't have pride.
No.
We should have pride in what God's done through us.
That's it.
And
Nothing
so we have to be careful with that. But
we do.
But selfishness is where it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
So, however, there is a distinction between occasional self-centeredness and the clinical narcissism. Well, the difference is that the narcissist is sort of like, I don't know if you remember whenever that you were a little kid, you kind of thought that the world was created for you. And
Absolutely.
and some people kind of think that too today.
When they grow up.
They think that everybody else is robots and they're the only human.
I've met a few like that.
Well, that's kind of in Silicon Valley. They have this sort of rabbit hole that they kind of think that they're plugged into something.
I know.
It's like the Matrix or something like that. And so
True.
and they're the only ones that really the world is. Everybody else is in a matrix and
around them,
and it evolves around them.
Yeah.
That's the true narcissist.
Yeah.
It's actually self-love. It's the Greek god is named after the Greek god who looked in the pool of water and fell in love with himself.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Okay. So to catch you up on narcissism, in the DSM-5, the narcissist personality disorder (NPD) is a rare condition characterized by several behaviors, including the following. Yeah, there's 6 characteristics in the DSM. I don't know what we're up to, 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I can't keep track. But anyway, I've been around since, I guess, 3. But, the excessive need for admiration.
Please admire me.
Please admire me.
Yeah.
Can't you tell me how beautiful I am?
Can't you tell me just every once in a while? It would really help my self-esteem.
Yes, that's the other problem. They really have this inward self-loathing. They can't stand themselves. They hate themselves deep down inside. So they constantly need somebody to be patting them on the back. Oh, honey, you're so gorgeous. And so that's why they have these people around them, these movie stars. That's all
that adore them.
That's all they're doing is telling them.
I will bow down.
How great they are and that sort of thing. There's a constant lack of empathy. Actually, that is an understatement. They have no empathy whatsoever. I remember one of the people I was dating, her at church, one of her friends would always say, "Did you notice no empathy there?"
Zero empathy.
Zero empathy
for anyone.
And so that's why a lot of people think that Trump is a narcissist, and whenever he got shot, he wasn't concerned about himself.
No.
He was admiring the people who were in the audience, how brave they were, that they didn't just
keep fighting.
That they just didn't run off and scatter,
exactly.
and that sort of thing. And I had a friend. That's the reason I worry about the ability of narcissists to come back. It can take like maybe a year of psychotherapy, and it takes a master's or a doctorate degree to be able to do that, and they don't do that anymore. All they want to do is write prescriptions,
give you a pill,
and they don't ever do any psychoanalysis. We've talked about this before, psychotherapy. I'm
right.
sorry. And it really takes psychotherapy to really help these people out of these situations. And they tell me that a narcissist can learn empathy, but they can't really actually feel empathy. for somebody.
I have too much.
We, I had a friend, I had a friend that had recovered from a drug addiction. Unfortunately, this is how I know a lot about it. Is most drug addicts or addicts of anything exhibit narcissistic tendencies.
Right.
Whenever that they are in their addiction. It's a very selfish act to be an addict. You can't show empathy, and you have no. You're in love with the addiction rather than the person that you're with, and that's the bad part about addiction and codependency. Is you're dealing lots of times with a narcissist or somebody who is having narcissistic tendencies because of their addiction.
Right.
But obviously, this individual had developed had become a narcissist during his addiction and had never came back. And he asked me. He said, "Will I ever overcome my narcissism?" And I had to tell him, "No, I'm sorry. From what they tell me, you can learn empathy, but you will never actually be able to feel empathy for another person." That's the difference. We talk about people who are like us, the sanguines. Is it sanguines? Is that what? Can't we all get along?
Yeah.
We're empaths. Empaths means we have too much empathy.
Yes, we do. That's why I said I got too much.
And the codependent has too much empathy to give the world in a lot of cases. They're the opposite of a narcissist.
Yeah.
They like, love and empathy all over the world.
That would be me.
And so, that is one of the characteristics, a consistent lack of. I don't think that is more of somebody who has narcissistic tendencies. They have no empathy whatsoever. They will never say anything unless they have learned to say those things. They will never say a word. They will never have true empathy for other people.
Right.
Then the sense of entitlement. They feel like,
I deserve this.
You should. You should give me, money to buy my drugs, or you should.
Yeah, I've had that happen.
Right, or you should give me pills.
Give me what you've got, because you went to the dentist. You don't need them.
Right.
Oh no, they're going in the garbage. And you're not supposed to dump pills down your commode if you're on sewer, because it goes into the water. Is that a lie?
That's probably an urban legend.
Oh, okay.
It's filtered and
okay. Well, that's what they said.
All kinds of stuff is done to it.
I never did flush pills if I was like at the apartment, but if you're on a septic tank, down they go.
Well, I could see the addict digging up your septic tank to get to the pill.
To get to the pills. That could have happened.
Okay.
No joke. That's the truth. Why don't you do that? You're not nice. Well, they was my best friend when they found out I'd been to the dentist. But once I wouldn't give them no pills, get down, Katie. Well, you're not nice. Why? Because I'm not giving you my medication for my teeth? Come on.
Or you look at a teenager, most teenagers have a sense of entitlement,
Yeah.
Well, you need to, buy me, the parent has to buy this or that for them as a sense.
Yeah.
They sense that they're entitled to it. Or, people have this sense in America that they're entitled to welfare and they're entitled to food stamps. Well, I paid into the system for all these years. At least I can, there's a sense of entitlement today. Narcissism and psychopathy are rampant today. So most of these you'll find, if you get on social media, you're going to find all of these in one person, every person you talk to. So so that's
nothing new.
So that's what we have in our society today. Number 4 is inability to handle any criticism. They're very defensive, get angry. They won't just get angry whenever that you criticize them. They will destroy you if you criticize them. Like you say, that hairstyle, I don't like it today.
Why?
And then they will destroy you. They will tell everybody, oh, he's a liar. He's a bigot. He's a Hitler because that
He don't like my hairstyle.
yeah, because he thought my hair was he's a bigot against blondes or something.
Yeah.
So he's a Hitler. So he just didn't like it because I have blonde hair. And so they will go out. They will purposely attack you with everybody so that they're afraid that you will tell other people that your hair doesn't look pretty today. But they will do everything in their power to completely destroy you. It's not that they can't handle criticism. These are understatements. But the inability to handle any criticism is not the inability to handle criticism. They're going to actively seek to destroy you. And I was the person you were talking about earlier about the one that had entitlement to your medication. I was surprised that they didn't destroy a certain person.
Yeah.
I
think they started to, and then just changed their
mind.
They
realized that they couldn't.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But the problem with the narcissist is they don't have that capability to think about the consequences of trying to destroy the other person. That's going to come back and
bite them
and bite them back, and so.
And the old tushy.
And you're right, and everybody's going to see them as a liar. And I even had one of my exes that I told you about. The psychiatrist had me to read the book Stop Walking on Eggshells for. She called my sister and told her that I was crazy. And then she gathered up 6 couples, which 2 of them was the blind couple that I'm friends with, and some of the other ones, a preacher and his wife, and then another ministry leader and her husband. They were friends of mine, and to have an intervention.
That you were crazy?
That I was crazy instead of dealing with her issues, and so.
Well, if I ever think he's crazy, I'll just tell him. I ain't gonna tell nobody.
So, there was, one of them was talking about boundaries and
right.
And that sort of thing.
Right.
That kind of was taking her idea, but most of the other people in the group took my side.
Good.
And my sister told her that I'm sorry, but he's my brother. I'm going to take his side no matter what. Or something.
I don't care if he's out there on a limb.
What did she say? She said something like that.
She did,
yeah. And so maybe she sent her a message and she didn't reply.
Exactly.
I don't remember what it was, but anyway.
It's
they have the inability to handle criticism. Like I said, they will try to destroy you if they can. Number 5 is preoccupation with beauty, power, and success.
Power and success. Now, I was a beautician, so I had to deal with beauty all day long, every day. Makeup, hair, nails.
Well,
that's different.
This comes back to why how a narcissist is created.
Okay.
The family of origin often tells them how they never did anything wrong.
Wonderful they were.
Yeah, they were always told how perfect they were in the family of origin, and so and I guess they're still trying to replicate that, as we were seeing in codependency.
Yeah.
That family of origins that mess up, and so part of that is they. The beauty, probably that's why we see people having all these plastic surgeries,
right.
Is so that they can feel good about themselves. Power, so that they can have people around them that are using these compliments and
to get in good with them.
And that sort of thing.
Exactly.
And success. They want
I don't know. I need a little tuck here and there.
Look up to them, right? Number 6 is using or more exploiting people for their own gain.
Yeah.
And that is actually an understatement. Again, is these people actually only will allow you to be in their presence if they have some agenda that they're using you for.
Right.
They have an agenda, and you often wake up and realize, oh, we don't have the same agenda. They have an agenda for success, money, power, and beauty, and money. They may just be using you for your money or to get where that they want to go,
Right.
or because that you're complimenting them. You know, I have and encouraging them and that sort of. You think you may be encouraging them, but they're keeping you around as long as you're useful to
Right.
them. Is what one of the
And if they're not useful, out you go.
Yeah, once that they, like he explained it to me like I was a little mouse and they were playing with me and they were a little cat. Whenever they got done with me, they just killed me.
Right.
And so that's when they got tired of playing with me, and that is more of what a narcissist is. Some of these statements are way under. A lot of people would fit into these things.
Right.
But
they would. Lots.
But a real narcissist, and that, we might be talking about people who have narcissistic tendencies, but people who are true narcissists, they're just going to play with you until
Yes.
they're tired with you, and then
out you go.
They're just going to kill you like a cat playing with a mouse.
Well, you remember that movie, The Devil Wears Prada? It was about beauty and business and all that. She was like that.
I was thinking about that movie.
Meryl Streep.
Whenever I was talking about beauty and success and
that was definitely that movie
and that sort of thing. Yeah.
And then finally, one girl finally got to her when she seen that the girl took the bait for a while.
Right, but you're not going to get to these people.
No, you can't. No.
Not to a narcissist.
No.
They have no empathy. You're not going to be able to win them over. You're not going to be able to change them. I'm sorry. I wish, as a Christian, I wish I could have hope for everybody, but but it's hard for me to believe that a narcissist can change his spots.
The only way he could is through Jesus Christ, and it would have to be he or she have to get their whole self over to him to say, "Take me, Lord." That would be the only way, Tony.
I'm sure that in the power of Jesus, but I'm not going to go along that trip with somebody. I mean, I have time and time again.
Yeah.
And I've just realized that I'm not going to go on that trip with you. Whenever that you've converted and you're no longer a narcissist, then
come back and see
me. But until I'm going to stay away from anybody that's a narcissist.
Yeah.
It's an unhealthy relationship.
But
unfortunately, we're talking about probably where people are in your family. Not necessarily your spouse,
no,
but somebody that's in your family that you married into that is a narcissist, and you're having to deal with them. It's maybe like a crazy
aunt or
sister-in-law or brother-in-law.
Yeah. Well, this is what I was going to say too. Is like Tony said, he's talking about people with narcissistic tendencies. I mean, I think we've all got some narcissistic tendencies.
Narcissism is a spectrum.
Yeah.
You're somewhat narcissistic. It actually takes some narcissism to get you out of bed in the morning.
It does. Yes.
Or else you wouldn't have enough ego to get out of bed.
Right.
It takes some ego to accomplish things in life.
Yeah.
And to do what the
get up and you go to work and do what you got to do.
We as Christians put our ego in God.
Yes. Thank you, Jesus.
But the natural people in this world, they use that ego to be able to function.
Right. And so there's a difference than a full-blown narcissist.
And that's the reason we're in trouble today, because all these narcissists and psychopaths have everybody beat down to the point that they really don't have egos to be able to function in life anymore.
Right.
And so the narcissists often make a great first impression, coming across as charming and charismatic. They may engage in love bombing, in which they shower you with attention and compliments, affection, and grand gestures of love, very early in the relationship, all to become exclusive in the relationship. Well, it sounds like the same description as a abuser. You know, they'll tell you they love you first. They'll be the first ones to tell you that they love you, and it'll be right away, probably on the first date.
Right. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I love you.
But you'll never see that person ever again. You had
Yeah.
15 minutes of
Zip
of,
of love of
of
loveliness.
excitement, but you'll never see that person again with a narcissist. They will hook you in with the love bomb, and it'll be an abuser from then on.
Yeah.
This phase can be intoxicating because these gestures are a self-esteem boost. In fact, the rest of the relationship, as the empath, you're trying to get this person back to where they were.
Right.
Because because it was so intoxicating. You want to experience that relationship again, but it didn't exist, and neither did that person. They make you feel important and pursued, but it's crucial to recognize the healthy relationships develop gradually and over time, like 2 years.
We're going on 5.
This affection, it's been 5 years.
Almost. Yeah.
I thought we just had our 4th anniversary.
Yeah, but I'm talking about
We're going on
date.
5.
We're going on 5. I didn't say it's 5 years. We're going on 5 years.
This affection often morphs into jealousy when you spend time with family members or friends, or repeated attempts to control you. So that's where we come into. It's the same as the abuser. They isolate you from friends and family. That's what the problem was, that this person was calling my sister and assembled these 3 couples. Was they were trying to isolate me, even though they were having intervention with my friends from from a friend. And so and jealousy. They're jealous of everyone. I wasn't allowed during that relationship to talk to somebody of the opposite sex, let alone look at somebody of the opposite sex.
You'd had your eyes poked out.
And so I wasn't allowed to be around somebody of the opposite sex. They're so jealous. It's beyond.
What a miserable life.
Miserable.
What a miserable life that is.
Repeated attempts to control you. No. This is another understatement. They are control freaks. They control every aspect of your breath, your life. You can't breathe without them saying, "Okay, breathe." Okay, you can breathe again. Okay, you can breathe again. That's your life for the entirety that you're living with these people. Okay, that is a true narcissist.
It's bad.
They are control freaks. Everything has to be under control. They're not trying to repeat it, attempting to control you. They do control every aspect of your life. When you confront a narcissist behavior, they may gaslight you. And they're probably going to explain a little bit about this, but where it comes from is there's a book about the husband. He every night comes in and turns down the gas lamps just a little bit, and then eventually the wife starts noticing that the lights are dimmer, and she mentions it to him, and he tells her she's crazy. And so that's where the term gaslighting comes from, is your lying eyes and your lying ears. And so, that's basically what they're doing to us in this day. They're lying to us, and then whenever that we say, we saw this.
What about so and so?
You didn't see it. You didn't see that the slanted roof was It wasn't like this. It was like this.
Yeah.
It's your lying eyes.
Yeah.
It's not true. It's not true.
I mean, this one woman I knew, she could say, "See that barn over there? It's really not red. It's white. And that barn is white." And she would make you. She was so good at it. She would make you think that red barn was really white. I mean, that's a lot of power to have, and that's not good power. That's evil power to have. You know, I made that up, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
She was that strong.
Well, and they're usually the sky is purple.
Exactly.
And
Not blue.
you're crazy if you think it's blue.
I know.
I
met someone like that.
You're not, you're if you think the sky's blue, because you're prejudiced against purple.
Exactly.
When you confront a narcissist's behavior, they may gaslight you. This is an attempt to make you question your uh, your uh, your perception of reality and undermine your recall of events. They may dismiss an event and present and try to create self doubt within you. You didn't see me having sex with that woman. It didn't exist. It was kind of. But that's what you walk in on them, and then they'll be.
You know, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. You didn't see me with any woman. You're crazy. You're seeing things.
Yeah.
That is a narcissist. They may
Yeah.
claim to be a real victim, and they may manipulate the situation so that their view of reality is true. And that's where I get it a little bit on the psychopath side, though. I don't think just a flatline narcissist tries to weave out these webs and trap you and do all this kind of thing. I think that's more of a psychopath trying to set things up where set you up on things.
They want you to go crazy. They want to drive you crazy.
Right.
What they want to do.
And you may feel confused. Well, I mean, at least they may turn down the lights, but I don't think as far as devising, a broad web that causes you to, that kind of thing, you're getting into some psychopathy.
Right, right.
You may feel confused, uncertain, insecure, and unsure of your perceptive, and that's where small groups come in.
We love our small groups.
That's why they want to isolate you from your friends and families, because your friends and family are outside the box, and they can say, "Oh, who turned down the lights?"
Right.
And so they don't, or why do you have a black eye? And so and so they try to keep you from other people because they can help you see the true reality of the perception. So if you're dealing with a narcissist, you need Celebrate Recovery, CR, so that you can have that small group to keep you grounded, so that you know what is actually happening and what's reality and what's not reality. Dealing with a narcissist. Being in a relationship with a narcissist can be challenging for many reasons. They may belittle you to inflate their ego, become demanding for your time, and intimidate you. They may even resort to physical violence, which that's why I said they're abusers. I think they get frustrated and they take like they kill the mouse whenever they're tired of playing with it. It's going to end in violence. I don't know of a case that it hasn't. So, however, you can take steps to protect yourself and your well-being, as well as your children and stepchildren. And so the other thing that brings to mind is they look for empaths like you so that they can because they want somebody in their life to be encouraging them and telling them how great they are and all these kinds of things, the accolades. So they will cultivate people. They're looking for you. And so the first step in dealing with a narcissistic individual is to educate yourself about the disorder and its impact on relationships. Can you tell I've educated myself about narcissism
A lot.
so that I can deal with narcissists? Since I probably deal with them all the time, and when dealing with addicts in Celebrate Recovery. Understanding the characteristics of narcissism can help you identify patterns and set appropriate boundaries. So you have to learn to set boundaries with these individuals. You know, like we've been talking about. I guess the greatest boundary is, you know, I can't be around you if you're going to act like this. You know, you may be married to this person, to a narcissist. Well, I can't, as long as you're using your drugs, I can't. You can't be in this house.
Right.
You know, you're going to have to go live somewhere else until you've got some clean time, and
Yeah.
and then we'll start over and talk about whether whether we can start seeing each other again or anything like that. Narcissists do not believe rules apply to them because they think they are entitled, and so whenever you start setting boundaries, they're going to be the ones that do not hear your no. And that's why I get to the point where I scream my no so loud that maybe I do sound crazy, because their entitlement, they do not hear your no whenever you start setting boundaries. And so that is why establishing and communicating clear boundaries is essential when dealing with a narcissistic behavior. Uh, Sometimes you have to yell at them because they're not, an abuser does not hear your no, and so it's hard to get them to. I don't know that they'll ever hear you. Actually, that is why. Okay, it's important to set boundaries that are concrete and specific, and to create consequences when those boundaries are crossed. It's like dealing with kids. They're selfish and immature, so you have to deal with them like they're little kids. If you set a boundary, you have to stick to your guns. They're not going to hear your no, and they're going to force you to do whatever your no is, and so you're going to have to stick to your no, and then you're going to have to stick to the consequences. When you state a consequence, no matter what that consequence is that you have stated to them, you have to follow through with that consequence. If you've told them that they have to leave if they touch you inappropriately again, then they have to leave whenever that they touch you inappropriately the next time. Or if you tell them you're going to call the police, you have to call the police. Whatever it is, you have to stick to your guns. When they cross the boundaries, enforce the consequences, or they will see it as an idle threat. They're just going to keep on doing it over and over again. They're going to keep on touching you. It's like the little kid
I'm not touching you.
I'm not touching you.
I'm not touching you.
No, see,
I'm not touching you.
I can touch you anytime I want.
It's stuff like me and Dwight always. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you.
Be calm and respectful, but also firm and insistent, especially in the context of marriage or parenting. Remember, you have the right to say no. You limit contact when necessary. And that's one of the things I didn't like about the book Boundaries by Thomas and Cloud. And I recommend everybody read that. That's another Celebrate Recovery book. They have boundaries for kids, kept boundaries for teens, boundaries in marriage, boundaries in business relationships. They have a boundaries book for everything you want a boundary.
I don't know if there's sisters and brothers. I don't know.
So, family.
Family.
I guess moms and dads.
Parents.
But anyway, so one of the things I didn't like about the Boundaries book was it said that it was my fault because my no was not loud enough, and I guess that's why sometimes I make my no so loud that somebody will say a simple question like, "Will you give me $5?" No. my
Okay, already.
my initial reaction is a little exaggerated because I have learned
Scare you to death.
because people haven't listened to my no in the past. But anyway, relationships and narcissists can be emotionally draining. So prioritize self-care for your mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical well-being. Focus on your own needs and goals, and remember that your worth and happiness are not defined by the narcissist. Who you are, you need to get a strong sense of who you are, so that whenever that they tell you that you're not that person, that you know that it doesn't matter what that they're telling you. You don't believe their lies. You're not Hitler. You're not prejudiced. You're not any of these things. You know that you're just the average Joe who and that sort of thing. Engage in activity that bring you joy and fulfillment, and seek support from a Christ-centered, supportive community. There you go. Celebrate recovery. One of the things I would do is I in one case when I was living with a narcissist, I went hiking every day. I did things that I enjoyed. That I would go out and eat, and I'd eat at McDonald's, and another relationship, a meal every day, and sit there and enjoy being around people,
Yeah.
and those kind of things. Went swimming with Braden every day, that sort of thing. And like being around water, so I
Yeah, I
learned
love
who I
water.
was. I like hiking, swimming, anything outdoors. I like eating out, movies, and and that sort of thing. I learned who I was, and what I liked to do, and so I would do things that I enjoyed to do to deal with being with a narcissist. And then I went to celebrate recovery every
Yeah.
night of the week.
And each one of us, yes, every night. Each one of us actually needs to know who we are. You know, I've learned for years, off and on, who am I? What do I like? And Tony's often said, well, just if I like fish, that don't mean you have to like fish. Or if I like a scrambled egg and you like yours fried, so now I have took on different things to make it easier not to cook 3 or 4 different things, and learn. And Tony's taught me in the last 4.5 years how to learn to eat different things that maybe I would have never ate before. But that's not, I'm not trying to please him. That's just growth,
Right. And if you're codependent and having trouble with enmeshment, you're going to soak up all these criticisms that they have and make them you.
Right.
And so you have to know. That's why that you need to know that you're an attractive person, or that that you're not fat, or the truth about yourself.
Right.
And because they're going to call you fat, and they're
we sing that tonight.
Yeah, we heard about that tonight.
That was so sad.
And and they're going to tell you all these things about yourself that's not true, because they want to. It's a magic show. Like you're this. You're Hitler, so that you don't see what they're doing over here. They're having an affair with some woman, or they're stealing all your money and giving it to Ukraine.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
Yeah, stuff like that. So we're dealing with narcissists and psychopaths.
Yeah.
So this is a great lesson.
And two, and if you're married to one, or if an in-law is one, or it still goes along with the way to a great marriage cast.
If you are married to a co-parenting with a narcissistic individual, it is important to approach the relationship with love, grace, and understanding, while still being firm in your boundaries. Seek the guidance of a therapist or coach who specializes in narcissistic relationships. They can help you navigate the challenges and develop effective coping strategies. Uh, Parenting a child with narcissistic tendencies, see, that's the problem, is until somebody's 18, even though I've heard of them diagnosing somebody, the other day I heard them diagnosing like a 14, 13-year-old or even younger and putting them on
Meds.
SRI meds. And they're
Yeah.
not allowed to do that.
Well, they're doing it.
You're not allowed to diagnose somebody until they're 18 because they're not fully developed. You're not going to figure out what their diagnosis is until the brain is fully developed. And 18, it may be actually a little young. It may be more like 24 or 25, especially with females, because the frontal cortex of the female brain doesn't completely develop until they're 24. And so you in most cases, so some of these, that's why it said has narcissistic tendencies can be particularly challenging, and the same way with the addict. I get so frustrated. The only within the first 6 months of somebody being sober, the only diagnosis that they could receive is psychosis, drug-induced psychosis, because the drugs are, and so I got so frustrated in the rehab. These guys would come in from detox on SRIs and on
Right.
Klonopin and Xanax and all these things with all these diagnoses, and that's illegal.
Yeah.
They need to have their license taken, but
They do it, though.
But they do it and get away with it.
Yep.
Because people allow them to. But if you're you're a parent and your child's being diagnosed something, saying he can't be diagnosed that until he's 18, and you're betraying your oath there.
Right.
Parenting a child with narcissistic tendencies can be challenging. It is essential to set clear boundaries, provide constant discipline, and model healthy behavior. You may have a problem is that one of the parents, like I did, one of the parents was being outwitted. Actually, I was being outwitted by this 12-year-old. They were weaving these webs, and I was constantly falling into their trap. And the other parent was letting me have it for falling into their trap. And so really both parents need to realize what's going on,
Yeah.
and realize that they can't believe anything that person says,
Right.
because narcissist, it isn't the most manipulative disorder, but it is one of the most manipulative disorders, and almost everything that comes out of their mouth is a lie.
It's true.
Everything that comes out of a psychopath's mouth is a lie, but by and large, most of the things that come out of a narcissist's mouth are a lie. So you work from that point of view, that they're probably gaslighting you, they're not telling you the truth,
Right.
and then you move on from there.
It's a hard move.
Seek the support of a mental health professional can be beneficial in developing a tailored approach to parenting a narcissistic child. The counselor suggested sitting down with the kids, making rules, letting them come up with rules for the house.
Super nanny.
They know. They know
always
what
did that.
they should be doing and what they should
Yeah.
not be doing.
And
The
that's good.
narcissist doesn't want the other siblings doing some things, and so you make that a rule. It's kind of like these narcissists in our federal government are coming up with these rules now. They're going to come up and bite them in the butt. They're going to
They are.
they're going to get
Yeah.
sued and put
They are.
in jail whenever get out of the presidency, because they're setting presidency. Hold them accountable. Whatever that they say is for thee is also for them.
That's right.
And is so
Thee and me.
yeah. So you sit down with the kids. They can come up with rules. They come up with some good ones, and we did, and make a list of those rules and the consequences for those rules. They know what consequences are that match those rules. You're a little bit in charge. You're saying, well, that doesn't sound like something. That sounds a little like you're letting somebody off the hook if they do that.
Yeah.
And so then you make consequences that match the rules, and then you make sure that every time something like that is done, you enforce it, and it has to be enforced by both parents. It can't be, and especially if the biological parent is the one that really needs to be doing the enforcing.
Yeah, that's for sure.
In the house, and so that is how that you deal with that. Above all, seek the Lord through His Word, prayer, and support the other believers. I think I wore a shirt during that time that said, "The war is won on the floor."
Yeah.
The fervent, effectual prayer of a righteous man availeth much. It said underneath it. I wore that shirt more than anything, and I learned still, pray, help me, God. I can't handle this situation. That's the most effective prayer you can pray.
Right.
And the support of other believers. That's where Celebrate Recovery comes in. The Holy Spirit can give you wisdom and discernment as you navigate these confusing relationships, and He can provide the strength, energy, and resilience you need. Dealing with a narcissistic person is not easy, but with the right tools and strategies, it is possible to navigate these relationships in a healthy way. Educate yourself, set boundaries, practice self-care, and which is also your recording that's in your head. I know we all have these recordings. I'm a failure, I'm unlovable, and those type of things, which is my recording. But you need to work on those recordings, because they're going to find out what your recording is, and they're going to punch your buttons all over the place with those recordings. Because you probably told them whenever that you were in that love bomb phase.
Yeah. Everything about you.
In the first 15 minutes, you told them everything about you, and they are going to use that to push your buttons the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So you need to reprogram yourself.
Exactly.
And so that's part of self-care, and or seeing a counselor on your own, besides going to Celebrate Recovery every night of the week.
Yeah.
If you're in one of these situations, you need it every night of the week. And seek support. Remember, you cannot change someone else. You can only control your behavior and how you choose to interact with a person. So you can, and that's, I said we probably can't change that person, and we should not depend on God changing that person. We can, and He just figure that person's going to be like that for the rest of their life, and allow them to be like that.
Allow them to be them.
And you work on how to live in that situation. You can create and maintain the necessary boundaries. Prioritize your well-being and create a safe and nurturing environment for yourself and the ones you love. And like I said, sometimes creating a safe environment may be removing them or you or your kids out of that situation.
Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah, that was the.
That's a hard one.
There's 3 articles that goes along with, if you we had the lesson last night's Wakecast was on arranged marriages.
Right.
This is the one of the articles in that email that they sent me.
Okay.
From Exo Marriage.
It was good. That was good.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know. They didn't know what gaslighting was. You explained it. They didn't really know what a narcissist was, and you explain it.
Well,
and we all have narcissistic tendencies.
Well, I thought that we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
But really, repetition, over and over again, and until you get it.
And these people may not be the ones that watch the other ones,
Right,
so
right.
you never know.
And I hate people who say, watch this podcast.
Yeah.
Go back and watch this podcast. I talked all about it, but I like to talk about it whenever I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
This one was kind of long, but I think that it was.
I liked it.
I mean, it's a topic that I've educated myself. There's actually a podcast on YouTube. That's all they do is talk about narcissism.
Absolutely, I've watched her before.
We watched them together.
Yep.
Hello. Why does it want to take a picture?
I don't know. I have no clue.
Her camera all of a sudden decided.
It's like, hello, smile. We're gonna take your picture.
Okay. Somebody has the Google has taken over our camera again.
Yep. That happens sometimes.
And so we do want you to like, and comment, ask questions. This live is almost over. You're welcome to ask questions during the live, but if you missed the live feed, down below, ask questions, make comments. If you ask a question that's good enough, we may make it our one of our waycasts. Then subscribe. You may not be able to see all of our content because most of our content has a, they don't want you to know that the doctors should be doing something more than just throwing pills into the situation, and that they shouldn't be diagnosing young people. They don't want those facts to come out, and so they may hide videos like this so that you won't see that information.
Yeah.
Then subscribe. I said that. That's why I wanted to subscribe, was so that you can see all of our content. Share. I have pinned to the top of the page. Against all odds, I've been encouraging everybody to share that. I think it's up to like 93 shares.
It's a good one.
I think it's a good. Did you watch it? Mm-hmm. I think it's
when you first did it. That was a year ago, right?
It's been over a year. Yeah. I think it's a good evangelistic tool, and so I would encourage you to use it as an evangelistic tool. If you know somebody that somebody pops in your mind right now that you know that doesn't know the Lord as their personal Savior, send that to them and beg them to watch it. Yes. And then hit the ding-a-ling.
Ding, 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 notification.
So that you can come on live and harass us in person so that we can answer your questions and comments live. Yes. We like it when that happens. But, so that concludes with that. I forgot to turn this on.
Let's turn, here. Katie Bug. She likes to be on camera when we dance at the end.
Bluetooth connected.
And so with that, we say...
Good night, until we meet again. Adios, au revoir, I'll be the same till then.
And though it's always sweet sorrow to part,
You know you'll always remain in my heart. Good night, sleep tight, and pleasant dreams to you. There's a wish and a prayer that every need comes true. And now till we meet again, adios, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.
Good night!
We love you!
And don't ever forget, you are truly loved.
Friends, there you have
With
our
that, we
show.
say
Hit songs and
good night.
fashions through the